Hello, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Checking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, hello. Not as good as you, Benny. So, like now, are you going to have any focus today? Well, No. That your wife is here and I'm worried about your focus, Benny. Okay. Actually, you should be worried.
La composition de départ de l'équipe suisse, the starting line-up for Switzerland, le numéro 26, Schlegel, le numéro 76, 76, Genesi, le numéro 55, 55, Loffel, le numéro 23, 23, Bodenman, le numéro 71, 71, Richard, le numéro 96, 96, Brunner. Composition de départ pour l'équipe de République tchèque, the starting line-up for Czech Republic. Le numéro 34, 34, Marzek, le numéro 45, 45, Simek, le numéro 3, 3, Goudas, le numéro 17, 17, Sobotka, le numéro 14, 14, Plekanek, le numéro 93, 93, Voracek.
Last game of the opening round for the Czechs and the Swiss. A win of any kind this afternoon will give the Czechs second place in Group B. Swiss have some lineup changes. Starting 22-year-old Niklas Schlegel in goal. Defenseman Philipp Thurer, Roman Untersander, and forwards Dennis Hollenstein and Cody Allman are all out of the lineup. They're dressing 18 skaters for the game today. Some minor bumps and bruises for the Swiss, who have clinched the playoff spot, but still have a chance to finish second with a win today.
It almost looks like their thought is we're going to end up with a monster in the crossover game anyway, and we need to get more healthy than we are now. And so they guard their starting goaltender Giannoni and go with the 22-year-old Niklas Schlegel in goal. But it's a hard game to play now. You've got your best defenseman in Untersander, one of your more dependable defensemen in Loeffel, and then two key forwards out of the lineup as well. My mistake, Führer out of the lineup.
At this hour, Russia playing the United States in Cologne, Germany. A point in that game clinches first place for the Russians. Later on tonight there, Latvia will play Germany in the battle for fourth. Vladimir Sobotka plays it across. Šimek, a shot, he ripped that high and right by the ear of Jakub Voracek.
You're going to have trouble getting guys to go stand in the net if you're going to shoot it that high. It's a good play by the Czechs, a nice little forecheck, and Šimek airmailed that one over top of the goal.
Krejcik in for David Pasternak, who chips that down to the Swiss zone. The big win for the Swiss in the Sochi Olympics, 1-0 over the Czechs. As Fabrice Herzog moves in for it. Plays around for Dennis Malgin of the Florida Panthers. His centering pass goes off the back of the goal. Malgin still doesn't have a point in the tournament. Drops it back now. Herzog, a long shot, punched away by Mrazek. Mrazek's 4th appearance in the tournament, and that long shot taken by Dominic Schlupp is stopped by Mrazek.
Been an up and down tournament for Peter Mrazek, which is really the way his season went for the Detroit Red Wings. He started out and was off to a pretty quick start. Then Jimmy Howard got hot and he lost the net, and then he never really found it again until after the new year. Same thing in the tournament. He's had some good moments, some moments where he's really struggled, yet he gets the start here, as this has been essentially a goalie rotation for the Czechs.
Quick shot by Rito Suri, who's back in the Swiss lineup. Suri was turned away by Mrazek, and a penalty coming now to the Czechs. That Czech going to wave it off, and a chance in front. They score! Tipped home by Vincent Proplan. And the Swiss have grabbed a 1-0 lead. It looked like a minor penalty was coming to the Czechs as Schlegel started to make his way to the bench. And then Vincent Proplan taps it home.
A scrambly play, and winner, winner, chicken dinner. Vincent Proplan with the goal as the undermanned Swiss take a quick 1-0 lead on a shot that ricochets around in front of Peter Mrazek, and Proplan his 4th goal of the tournament.
Former junior for North Bay a couple of years ago. Scored the tying goal against Canada in the 3rd period of Switzerland's overtime win. Proplan banked one in to tie that game up as Rito Shapi works in. Been a bit of a wild ride for the Swiss. They've gone to overtime in 4 of their first 6 games. Going back to last year, 8 of the last 13 have gone to OT. Another chance there. This time for Rufinak, turned away by Mrazek. Via Suter across for Rufinak. And Simon Bodenman goes in for the loose puck. Here's Voracek with it. Back with Voracek. Swings that across for Hansel. And in comes Saboka now. Vladimir Saboka drops it off. Šimek in a tip in front, knocked wide by Voracek. Brunner was a healthy scratch in Switzerland's last game against France. And now moved out against Finland, rather. Brunner didn't play. Dean Kukan plays at the center ice. Knocked down by Cervenka. And a bouncing puck knocked away by Schlegel, who, by the way, is listed at 5'10". 146 pounds. He must be bigger than that.
What, 155?
Maybe.
That is a tiny guy, if that's his actual correct height and weight. Rafael Diaz's shot hits Peter Verana in the slot, bounces right to Proplan. Had an impressive tournament. He had 15 goals this year for Cloten in the Swiss League. That's his 4th of this World Championship.
Scored 2 in their loss to France in the shootout. It's been a wild ride for the Swiss when you think about their tournament. Up 4-0 against Slovenia. The Slovenes came back to tie it, and the Swiss won in a shootout. They led 2-1 and 3-2 against the French, lost that game in a shootout. Down 2-0 to Canada, won that game in a shootout. Up 2-0 against Finland, lost in overtime.
It's actually really surprising because the Swiss have always played much more stable, plod-along games than that. Praplin actually was the player that scored the tying goal late against Canada with that wrist shot that Calvin Pickard ended up deflecting into his own net.
Now Michael Kempney centers it, knocked ahead by Ruta. So again, the Swiss are only 18 skaters out of the normally allotted 20. For the regulars not dressed tonight, they got a 1-0 lead on the Czechs. Christian Marty banks it out, and Malgin had that bounce away. Herzog almost stole that. Now it's banked out, and Verana has it back for the Czechs. In comes Peter Verana. Czechs are changing as he waits and pivots back along the boards. Verana centers it, knocked away by Herzog with a quick stick, and Andres Ambul has it back. 4.5 gone here in the opening period. Switzerland with a 1-0 lead. Regulation win for the Swiss would move them into sole possession of second place, would clinch, in fact, second place in this Group B. Overtime, however, would deeply muddy the waters.
I don't even know finishing second if that gives you any real benefit going in the crossover game. I mean, that's likely the Swedes. Although, again, it could be the Swedes, the U.S.
Now a chance. Suter walks in, stopped by Mrazek.
You know, it's such a jumbled deal over in Pool A.
So if the Russians beat the Americans in the afternoon game there, Russia would clinch first, the Swedes would be second, the U.S. would be third. So second place on this side would get you the United States.
Yeah, with a Russian win.
Yeah.
No bargain either. But I think if you're sitting in Group B, you know, the Czechs are one thing that everybody would be, or Group A, the Czechs are one team everybody's aware of, but I think you would be nervous about the Swiss. The Swiss would be a concerning team, and you just have to look at the way, as you outlined earlier, Gord, the way their tournament went. You know, they beat Canada, they lose in overtime to Finland, and I mean, those are the best, two of the three best teams on this side, and they've got 3 points out of those two games.
Oh, and there's lots of trophies on the wall in Switzerland of big teams they've beaten over the years. Plekanec drops it back for Voracek. Jakub Voracek now loose behind the Swiss goal. And Leonardo Giannoni, who's not playing today, has been fantastic for the Swiss. Grudas plays it across. In comes Šimek. Backhands it down for Sobotka. He finds Voracek. Jakub Voracek gets bumped there by Suter. Spins off him. Voracek still with it. And Plekanec ships that to the side of the goal for Sobotka. Drops it back. Voracek in. Fans on the shot. Then Reto Shapi has it back for the Swiss. Switzerland finished 11th last year, their worst finish in more than 20 years at the World Championship. Had a great tournament in Sweden in 2013. They went 9-0 to start and finally lost the gold medal game to the host Swedes in Stockholm. That was their first medal since 1953. Marty goes back for it. Tied up there by Chervenka. For the Czechs, it's 4 straight years without a medal since they won bronze in 2012. Their last gold came in 2010. They got 2 members of that team, Roman Chervenka and Jakub Voracek, on the roster this year. An icing call against the Czechs with 13.5 to go here in the first.
Oh, Richard takes a high stick here in the... You can see he's pretty sour as he goes back to the bench. A call missed. As David Pasternak is trying to lift his stick.
Draw control by the Czechs. Jakub Jarabek plays it around. And back up to center ice. Romain Lofo plays it back in. And there's Jakub Jarabek. Signed as a free agent by the Montreal Canadiens. He's got the puck in the corner now. Jarabek plays it across. A long lead pass from Krejcik. Knocked down at the Swiss line. Verana trying to work it free, and does for Berner. And Malgin ties him up. At the point, Ruta centers a bouncing puck, batted away by Lofo. Still loose in front. Berner couldn't get a shot away. And Herzog has it back for the Swiss. Patrice Herzog, who scored the first and last goals for the Swiss against Canada. One of them got back in it, and the one that won it for them in overtime.
Both beautiful backhand efforts. He's had a good tournament. Big, strong kid. 5th round pick by the Maple Leafs in 2013.
Hansel drops it back. Kempney in. That shot goes off a skating wide. Rito Surrey plays it back down to the Czech zone. Kondratek. Across for Kempney, but bumped there by Dominic Schlumpf. And Hansel has it back. Hansel in for Roman Horak. And now back at the point. Kondratek, a shot that deflects up into the meshing and out of play. 1-0 the Swiss lead. You're watching the 2017 World Hockey Championship from Paris. Jakub Voracek playing in the World Championship for the 5th time, won a gold medal with them in 2010. Also represented his country in the World Junior Championship, the Olympic Games, and last fall's World Cup of Hockey. Now Voracek trying to rally the Czechs here in the first period against Switzerland. Shots are 5-2 in favor of the Swiss. Theo Suter takes the return pass and moved in. Suter, a former 40-goal scorer in the Ontario Hockey League for Guelph, plays it back for Diaz. His long shot off the side of the goal. Šimek tripped on the side of the goal. The centering pass goes back to Diaz. A long wrist shot goes wide. Shoppy poked that away from Šimek. And across to pick it up is Radko Gudas, who, as you might expect, has been right in the middle of everything when the Czechs are playing.
There's not many quiet games for Gudas. Most noted for his train track hits, and he gets up onto the edge a lot. He's a good player. He makes a good first pass. He's very decisive with his game. He gets burned when he gets a little over-aggressive, actually, in the middle of the ice.
Jakub Krejcik goes for Brno in the Czech League. They won the league championship this year. But by Pasternak, knocked off stride there by Janatsi. Tanner Richard has it back. In comes Richard. Fans on that shot. Pasternak has it back. Brno, by the way, the owner and general manager, fired the coach, took over the head coach, and they won the championship.
Good decision.
And now Tanner Richard touches up, and we got a penalty coming for a cross check. Going against, I believe, Romain Löffel for Switzerland.
And the Czech power play is a good one. It's
Switzerland, player number 55, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
This will be their 20th opportunity on the power play. They have 7 power play goals. And David Pasternak is a dangerous player on one side. Top of the left circle, Jakub Voracek plays the top of the right circle. They're very creative, those two, with the puck.
Remember Libor Zabransky?
Yes.
Yeah, he was the owner and GM in Brno. Now the championship-winning head coach as well.
And does pretty well everything else, apparently.
Played in the NHL for a couple of years. Voracek had that knocked away. Here's Šimek. Back to Voracek. Roman Horak leads the Czechs with 2 power play goals. Voracek. Horak standing right in front, slides it down to him. Horak back for Voracek. Voracek centers it, was off the skate of Marty and set down the ice by Schlumpf. Now Mrazek, a quick up for Voracek. In comes Voracek with it. Puts it back in the corner for Horak. Finds Plekanec, so the Czechs are set up again. Horak. Back to Voracek. Horak back to Voracek. Centers it, that's knocked away by Herzog. And now Herzog races in short-handed. Fabrice Herzog works back in, got poke checked at the last moment by Ruta. He had Rufinak all alone in front if he could slide him the puck. Pasternak under a minute to go now in the Czech power play, slides it across to Kovac. Scooped up now by Berner. Michael Berner. For Repik. To the goal line he goes, back across. Cervenka, the wide open net, fan of the shot. Christian Marty sprawled the block. What was left? Kovac. Back across for Cervenka. Plays it back. Ruta, hard shot that was blocked by Suri. Cervenka slides it back down to Kovac. In for Cervenka. Walks in. Plays it back for Ruta for Cervenka. He fires. Save made by Schlegel. The puck at the post and behind him. And now Repik has it back. Final seconds of the power play. Repik plays it back for Ruta. Across to Cervenka. His pass back across. Blocked by Suri. Now Ruta's shot that was blocked by Rufinak. Back they go again. Fired wide by Repik. And Schlump whacks at it. Now Ruta, long shot, goes off the stick of Suri in behind the Swiss goal. One shot on goal for the Czechs in that power play. Now their exhausted penalty killers are still on the ice. Repik takes the return pass and drops it down to Kovac. Picked off now by Rufinak. And the puck goes into the Swiss bench. And Rufinak almost followed there as Kempney got into him.
Rufinak was involved with Wayne Simmons in the Canada game. They had a wrestling match in the slot that carried over into a conversation over by the bench. The Czechs had the puck in the offensive zone almost the entire 2 minutes. Roman Cervenka, a real good chance that he ends up fanning on. And then Cervenka again, this shot hits Marty, then the goal post and deflects out wide. But the Swiss also had three really good blocks on that penalty kill. Rufinak, Schlump, and Shapi made the blocks.
Verana plays it back to Krejcik. And pivoting back now is Kukan. In Kukan, who plays for Cleveland in the American League, the Columbus Farm team. Now a steal walking in his Malgin in, shoots, and the save is made by Mrazek. A great burst there by Dennis Malgin. Now the centering pass knocked down by Zahorna. And Kukan has it back. Up for Herzog. As one of the few Swiss players who's been in the National Hockey League roster this year, Malgin hasn't shown a lot so far, has he?
No, not at all. He's looked young in this tournament. Got pushed off the puck. He really hasn't made anywhere near the impact I thought he might have. Now, he made the Panthers out of Camp Ford. The way I looked at him and watched him play is that he looked like a guy that should have spent some time in the American League, just not strong enough yet.
Did play 15 games in the AHL for Florida this year as Loeffel works in, trying to swing that wide. Voracek got a stick on it. Suter has it back. Pia Suter floats that wide of the goal as Loeffel moves up for it. Koplat drops it back. Penalty coming down to the Czechs. And as they touch up, the Swiss will go to the power play with 6:39 to go here in the first period. Thomas Buchanan goes off for the hook. And the Swiss will go to the power play here in the first period. Russia has just scored, taking a 1-0 lead against the United States. Nikita Gusev scoring on a breakaway. Russians trying to wrap up first place in Group A there. Their power play has been devastating.
Canada's been shredding the opposition on the power play on this side. The Russians even more devastating on the other. Canada 10 for 20 on the power play, and they're on this side, the Group B side.
Russians are 12 for 21.
That's amazing. Of course, a 6 for 6 against Italy probably gets you out of the gate pretty well.
Low for the long shot, and a pad save by Mrazek through the traffic, knocked away.
Really good save by Mrazek. He didn't see this till late. Flashed out the right leg. A real simple little wrist shot by Loeffel through the traffic that was in the high slot.
Swiss have struggled with the power play. They're 4 for 28. They've allowed 2 short-handed goals. We're slow getting out of the gate.
I don't think they shoot the puck enough on the power play, Gord. We've talked about this throughout the whole tournament, but they look and look and look for one good shot. When if you shoot it early, now you get the penalty killers to move around, and they just haven't seen that as a way to attack yet.
Diaz swings back. Ambuel plays it across. Ambuel tied up in the corner. Now he has one of the Swiss power play goals. Now it's moved back to center ice as Diaz goes back to pick it up. Malgin jumps it across the line. Horak stepped into him. And now Praplan has it back. Praplan back for Diaz. Rafael Diaz for Praplan, who has the Swiss goal. Back for Diaz. The Praplan snaps that pass across. Malgin back to Diaz. Winds and shoots. Blocked by Horak. Final seconds now on the power play. Praplan fans on the one-timer. And Buchanan steps back on for the Czechs. Ambuel centers it. And Mrazek quickly gloves that.
Pretty good power play there at the end. They moved the puck, had a couple of chances, and they got a one-timer set up to Praplan, who ends up whiffing on it. But not been a great start for the Czechs here. Josef Jandac wanted a penalty called there. It's felt that one of the Czech players was held, obviously.
It's a pretty mild protest.
I think that's one you know that's going to be denied. You just can't muster up much for it.
Kempny off the face-off wing, banks out ahead trying to find Pasternak. Now Kovac in across the line. Kovac for Cervenka. The puck is on his back. It falls down in front of the Swiss goal. Kovac after it now, loose in the corner. And Bodenman plays it out. Kovac chips that down. Blocked by Schlegel somewhat awkwardly. And now Schlund picks it up. Schlegel made his international debut for the Swiss at the senior level prior to the World Championship in an exhibition game. As now Praplan works in. Around Ruta, swings it back in front, and Pasternak picks that up. Going high off the glass, and Loeffel back to pick it up. Scooped up by Šimek, and across the line, taken down by Suter. Now Buchanan has it back for the Czechs. Drops it back for Saboka. In and shoots. Loeffel blocked that. And Gaetan Haas banks it off the glass and out.
Just 3 shots on goal for the Czechs here in the first 17 minutes of play. We spent the first part of the game talking about who isn't in the Swiss lineup, and maybe we should have been talking about who's going to show up for the Czechs here, because this has been a flat start.
Repik works in. Michael Repik centers it. Bouncing puck chip wide there by Vrana. Kicked away by Marty, trying to find Ambuel. And Ambuel chops it up to center ice. Repik. Tied up in the corner now. Repik has it back. It's a bump there and a penalty coming out of Marty. They'll get hit for the cross check. And the Czechs will go to the power play with 2.5 to go in the first period.
Marty gets called for the cross check there as puts the stick into the back of Michael Repik. Really not too much to it, but the cross-check called, and back to the power play go the Czechs.
Russia still leading the United States 1-0. That game, by the way, on TSN 1 and 3. Quarterfinals come on Thursday, 2 in Cologne, 2 here. If Canada plays the Germans, that game would be in Cologne on Thursday. Otherwise, Canada would play its quarterfinal game here in Paris against Latvia. That's fourth place game between Latvia and Germany tonight to close out the round robin in Cologne. So the Czechs now with a chance on the power play. Šimek drops it back for Voracek. Voracek steps around Shappy. Works it across the line and drops it off there for Horak. Roman Horak. Feeds it back at the point, Šimek. Across to Pasternak. Pasternak centers the puck. It's a quick shot. Schlegel made a pad save. Might not have been looking when the puck hit him. And Shappy has it back.
A couple of times Schlegel has got lucky here in the first period. The first was a shot that deflected off of Marty on the last power play that hit the goalpost. This one he makes a left pad stop that he doesn't really react to until it hits his pad. He's down in the butterfly, doesn't really see it. So a couple fortunate bounces for him.
Now Cervenka comes out, along with Kovash and Werner up front. And Cervenka wins that face-off back, but the Czechs can't hold it as Repik got a knife and fork that one out of the zone. Cervenka moves in, tied up there by Haas. Back to point it goes for Ruta. Jan Ruta for Cervenka. Roman Cervenka. As time feeds it back, Ruta slides it across for Repik. For Ruta, 45 seconds to go on the power play. Ruta swings it across, Repik. To the goal line, Kovacs back for Repik, across for Ruta. Ruta in shoots, blocked by Haas, and Bodeman has it back now for the Swiss. Knocks that down wide of the Czech goal with under 30 seconds to go on the power play. Final minute now of the period. Poked in by Yarabek. Hansel drops it back for Verana. And Verana swings back. Hansel, Verana. So Horna with it. The teams are back to 5-on-5. And the puck back to center ice. 20 seconds to go in the period. Yarabek winds in, finds a Horna, but the play's offside at the Swiss line.
Outstanding period of play by the Swiss here. Just giving up 3 shots on goal to the Czechs. Patrick Fischer's team has been on the puck. They've been aggressive. They've looked like the team that is more ready to play. Oftentimes when you have players sitting out, they've got 4 regulars out of the lineup. The guys that get a chance to play, they have more motivation than everybody else. They want to take advantage of their bigger opportunity. They've done that through 20 minutes here.
Voracek swings that back, knocked into the corner by Šimek. The Czechs have mustered just 3 shots on goal in the first period. As Rufinek pounds that wide at the horn. Vincent Propland scores the only goal of the opening period. The Swiss have a 1-0 lead after the first 20. Our first intermission coming up. You're watching the World Hockey Championship live on TSN.
second time? Or? On est de retour avec beaucoup de plaisir. Tu voulais évoquer notamment le fait que si vous êtes avec nous ce soir, il y aura la porte C, c'est la porte finalement du bonheur, c'est qui nous permettra de patienter le temps pour découvrir l'arena. Don't forget to use the door C if you stay with us until the last match. C'est très important puisque les hommes quitteront alors pour vous pourrez bien sûr avec vous regagner cet endroit magique où se déroule ces championnats du monde de conquis sur l'âge. Je profite également de vous dire que vous allez pouvoir, si vous souhaitez, garder en souvenir impérissable de votre présence par le biais au choix, ou du biais d'ailleurs, grâce à la boutique officielle du manuel, en fait, manuel, le programme officiel, afin que vous n'ayez rien à demander, vous n'avez pas hésité à lui parler. Donc le programme officiel, mais également les goodies, le petit passage, ce que vous enfin bref, tout ce qui fait qu'on repart avec le sourire de cet événement international. Voilà. On parle un petit peu des saviez-vous, vous voulez dire quelque chose?
Oui, rien du tout, juste des saviez-vous, c'est encore des petites anecdotes. On va faire ça un peu en français, parce qu'on va trouver aussi pour nos amis anglophones. Et voilà, c'est la petite histoire, on a des anecdotes. Anecdotes, c'est sur les écrans.
Alors, cet attaquant que vous connaissez tous, Philippe Jean, qu'on soit français ou pas d'ailleurs, c'est quelqu'un qui est mondialement connu, a été le premier leader tricolore, a joué dans le circuit professionnel de la IIHF, c'est important de le préciser. Le numéro 36, bleu, à Saint-Louis, il a disputé 3 saisons, 135 matchs, 37 points, soit globalement 15 buts et 22 assists. Comme je connais tous les saisons,
d'accord, devancer un petit peu l'appel. On va essayer de vous apporter ces regional, cette petite histoire. In 1951, France lost the race for the third time. The tournament which took place in the fall. L'autre d'hiver, indoor cycling track in Paris, was the first one to be divided into two pools due to a large number of participants. And with this people, it should be announced that during the International Ice Hockey Federation Congress, which was held at the same time, a decision was made to withdraw ice hockey from the Olympic Games, but the IIHF went back on its decision in August of the same year, because they made peace with the IOC.
Et dernière pour la route, la France qui organise cette année les championnats du monde sur son sol pour la 5e fois. Les deux premiers tournois mondiaux pour faire un petit se déroulaient dans la station alpine de Chamonix. Le premier en 1924 avec la Gaule d'hiver, le second en 1930. Les deux autres tournois mondiaux qui ont lieu d'abord à Paris en 1951, puis à Grenoble en 1968. On savait dans le cadre des Jeux Olympiques d'hiver qui ont été pour la toute la défense des championnats. Regardez ce qui se passe pour nos amis suisses. Magnifique. Quoi ça va pour les vaches?
Alors ça c'est la bonne laitière, ça, c'est dans la justice.
Les gars, on va faire une dance card. Est-ce que vous êtes capable de faire une dance card allongée? Ça va montrer que les Suisses en même temps, ça joue, mais pas trop vite. Allez, dance card avec nos amis vaches.
Come on, you have to dance now.
Allez, stand up, guys, stand up. Music.
Yeah.
Pump it up. Jump around. Jump around. Jump around.
Hey, jump, come on.
Allez, faut pas hésiter à vous lever, à sauter, à pousser, à monter. Oh là. Voilà, voilà. Regarde.
Ah, c'est les annonces. Sur le prêt. Really nice guy, yeah. Oh, guy. Moving. Yeah, come on.
On a peut-être colonie en Suisse, là-bas de l'autre côté, où sont les espèces de montée. Jump around! Allez, dégage comme un chevaux, n'hésitez pas à bouger votre corps.
Show your
here in Paris. It is 1-0 Switzerland after one. Game will start the second period 5-on-5 in Cologne. 1-0 the Russians have the lead against the United States. The Americans had a wide edge in play in that first period thanks to a lot of power play time. Outshot the Russians 16-3, and will start the second period of the power play. That's the battle for top spot in Group A. And a surprise starter for the Swiss today. Nicholas Schlegel, the 22-year-old, facing just 3 shots from the Czechs in the opening period.
Had a post behind him, but not much to do. It's the Swiss worked better as a group than the Czechs in that first period. They looked like they came to win a game, and the Czechs looked like they came to play. There's an ice issue right in front of Mrazek, a little hole directly in front of the crease.
Really hot outside today. The first really warm day we've had since the tournament started here in Paris.
I hadn't noticed how far the walk was to the metro until today.
Tanner Richard knocks that back for Joel Janazzi. And back is Gudas to pick it up. Damian Brunner brings it back in, the former Detroit Red Wing and New Jersey Devil fan of that pass. It goes back down to the Swiss zone. And here's Gudas with it. Radko Gudas from a sharp angle, fires and rattles off the glass. Back to the point for Šimek. Mechanics back out there, Voracek and Saboka, the forward line for the Czechs. And Gudas pitches up, centers it. That's knocked away by Lofo. Gudas backhands that high and wide. And Sabotka tracks it down. Vladimir Sabotka. Steps for Richard, centers it, and that pass missed Kovac and goes back to center ice. The Czechs just look off today. Šimek centers it, bouncing puck. Cervenka lifted that high.
Oh, there's another one, Gord. You know, Kovac comes off the bench, misses an open pass. Cervenka has a shot from 10 feet, shoots it over the net.
Krejcik a long shot, saved by Schlegel. And the rebound put wide by Pasternak. Kovac's shot that goes off the leg of Herzog and back down to the Czech zone. Lead pass for Cervenka, centers it out for Pasternak working in. And that's swatted away by Herzog. Czech to nail down second place in Group B with a win today. A win in any fashion will do it for them. That long shot knocked away by Mrazek. A centering pass.
He almost funneled that into his own net.
Dean Kukan threw that in front. Mrazek almost, as you mentioned, directed that home.
Roman Cervenka in the first period had a great pass from Kovac, and he whiffs it. Then his shot bounces off of Marty and hits the goalpost. Now another chance, and Cervenka chips this over top of the net. The chances have been there for Roman Cervenka, and has not been able to capitalize at all today.
Ray, it would be easy for fans in Calgary and elsewhere to call Cervenka an NHL bust. He signed with Calgary in the summer of 2012. There was a lockout that year, so the season was disrupted, a short training camp. Then he had blood clotting issues. Just never panned out for him. He scored 9 goals in 39 games for them, which actually isn't bad. It pans out to an 18 or projects out to an 18-goal season, but
so much more was expected from him as going into the Olympics. He had played that season with Jaromir Jagr, and Jagr had mentioned that Cervenka was the best player outside the NHL. And he came to the Olympics and had a decent Olympics, but there was lots of hope for Cervenka. But you're right, just wasn't to be for him. It just never really got on track.
And didn't really have anyone to talk to. There's a lot of factors that go into a player making the transition successfully.
Well, there is, you know, it seems like, well, you should come to North America. It's a great life. It's a great league and just play. But for a lot of guys, can you imagine going to a country you don't speak the language, you don't have any other countrymen around?
Voracek shoots and Schlegel makes the save on him.
Everything is different. You live a different way. You live in a different city. The travel's different. The game's different. Some guys, it's just too much. I mean, the Vancouver Canucks had a player, Nikita Trampkin, this year. Looked like he was making strides. He wanted to go home. And he went back home. And the more we travel over in Europe, the more I'm understanding of the difficulties it is. I mean, we're here for 3 weeks. And, you know, we were in Russia last year, and Google Translate's taking a beating on my phone. I'm just trying to buy a coffee.
Now worked in by Bodeman. He was poked out there by Šimek. One of the smartest things the Pittsburgh Penguins ever did was bring in Yuri Hrdina to play for them when Jágr was young.
I mean, Hrdina could play a bit too. You know, he could handle the puck. He could make a play, but he became a kind of a confidant and a guy Jágr could go to if he needed something.
Made pass for Kovacs, but the play called at the Swiss line, and the faceoff will go right back down to the Czech zone.
Josef Jandáč, the 48-year-old coach of the Czech Republic, has seen his team win 5 straight games. It's not always been easy. A shootout win over Finland when they were down 3-0, an overtime win against Norway, and then a 5-1 and 5-2 win over Slovenia and France. 5 straight wins for the Czechs.
Actually played well in their opener against Canada. There was an empty net goal late to make it 4-1. Had lots of chances nearly going in that game. And
also got the game back to 2-1. And right after they scored to make it 2-1, Mrazek gave up a softie. That made it 3-1, and the game essentially was out of hand then.
Kevin Hayes has scored on the 4th American power play. It's a 1-1 tie with the Russians in the second period. Again, that's the battle for first place in Group A. Chance now in front, and Mrazek got just a piece of that off the stick of Herzog.
Wow, the Czechs broke down there. That was a 3-on-1. Mrazek got lucky on the stop. He looked like he guessed on it that it was going glove side, and he stopped it to the blocker side.
Rafael Diaz ahead for Prapplan, who has the Swiss goal. Takes the return pass for Gaetan Haas. Centers it, knocked away by Mrazek. And Ruta has it ahead for Horak. Roman Horak also played for the Calgary Flames and the Edmonton Oilers in his brief National Hockey League stint. As Horak brings it ahead. Now the play called offside at the Swiss line.
Fabrice Herzog has 3 goals in the tournament. Watch how Mrazek guessed glove side, and he's down with his right leg down. And he just gets a blocker, or actually his hip on it, as Herzog almost has his 4th. He had just 9 goals this year in Zurich. He's got 3 in 6 games here at the World Championship.
Swiss League is normally pretty low scoring. Plakanitz works that back. Kondratek a shot that went off the stick of Shappy. And Rufinek plays it back ahead. Bounces right to Shappy. Sends it back across, and the shot fired wide. Great chance there for P.S. Suter to just miss the net.
Back-to-back man advantage breaks for the Swiss.
Another chance now as Mrazek pokes out ahead. And Sabotka plays it out for the Czechs. Working in now is Kondratek with a shot that's turned away by Schlegel. Lead pass for Rufinek, that's knocked down by Gudas. And Radko Gudas winds in. Gudas fans on that shot. Gathers it right back up, throws it back in front of chance for Pasternak, lifted that high. Schlump back with it. Rink winding goes for Tanner Richard, just missed there by Gudas.
Gudas is one player that you need to have a GPS on when he's on the ice. There are a few players always that I would always be aware of, and Gudas would have been one of those guys.
That was the 5-15 to Lyon right there. Brunner off the skate of Kovac, and a chance now for Pasternak. Kukan trailing Pasternak in a backhand shot. Schlegel makes the save as Kukan helped disrupt that rise. 1-0. Switzerland continues to lead.
Attendez, on est parti parce que c'est vrai qu'avec on a eu cette journée de mettre en place une petite à la façon sympathique. Eric, comment tu la vois toi? Alors on va la faire de haut en bas. Point à main de top, ok? Are you ready? Show me your legs. Your legs, exactement pourquoi you want. Montrez-moi les mains, tout le monde.
Pasternak with the latest chance for the Czech Republic, and on the other side, Pia Suter, a good chance for the Swiss.
And Pasternak looked like he was completely out of gas as that was a turnover. And I thought he was going to be able to pull away from Kukan. It turned out to be exactly the other way as Kukan closed the gap, and Pasternak ends up with a limited danger 25-foot backhander, which Schlegel was able to catch without much trouble.
Krejcik winds in now for the Czechs, feeds that back. Jerabek, a shot that goes wide. Now moved up by Ambuel, finds Herzog with Malgin jumping in. Herzog lifts that high and wide in the back end. And Löffel leaves it there for Malgin. Now a steal by Hansel. Robin Hansel loose in the corner. Hansel bobbled the puck for a moment. Malgin takes it away, but Hansel takes it right back. Now picked up by Herzog at center ice. Moving in on Kondratek, he fires that down to the Czech zone. 8 gone here in the second period. The Swiss still leading 1-0. Christian Marty works in, tapped that wide of the goal as Praplan was looking for the tip there. Now Gaetan Haas kicks at it. Haas in for Praplan. Drops it back for Schlumpf. Dominic Schlumpf to the goal line. Works it back in front. Mrazek save.
There's 4 Czech players within 2 feet. They handled that thing like it was on fire.
And now a chance score. Surrey banks it off the glove of Mrazek and in, and it's 2-0 Switzerland.
That was a comedic 10 seconds from the Czechs. Schlumpf, who's in the lineup for the first time in this tournament, he'd been an extra defenseman and gets in with the Swiss resting some players. He's going to make a nice rush that Mrazek turns aside. This puck's going wide. It's the second one this period that Mrazek has funneled towards the net. The first one he was able to catch. This is a knuckleball that Mrazek doesn't catch. And it bounces into the net. This is going wide. Not anymore. Reto Suri, who's in his first game, has his first goal.
Surrey scored just 4 goals this year in 45 games for EV Zug in the Swiss League. Playing in his 4th World Championship. And Peter Mrazek.
Okay, so now you got an NHL goaltender in Peter Mrazek. He's had an iffy tournament. Pavel Francouz is the other goaltender. Francouz played well in the win, in their last win against France. Who are you playing in the quarterfinal?
Francouz for me.
I think you have to. I mean, there's nothing that Mrazek has done that makes you think good play is around the corner here for him.
As you mentioned, though, Francouz hasn't exactly played against the iron of the tournament, Belarus, Norway, and France. But he also had the best save percentage in the KHL this year.
And when France was better than the Czechs early, even though they were down 1-0, Francouz made 3 or 4 really good saves in that first period. This would be an unexpected goal for the Swiss. Suri with his first in his first game with an assist from Schlumpf, his first in his first game.
Moved ahead for Brunner. Cross he goes, and Diaz a shot. And Mrazek makes the save on that.
Outwork, not ready to play, and the goaltender funneling one into the net. Not a very good script for the Czechs here in the first 30 minutes of this game. Go back to the goaltending. Peter Mrazek had an 89% save percentage coming into today. It's not getting any better. And Pavel Francouz just 41 shots though in three games, a .927 spot for him.
Hardy goes back for it, plays it around for Brunner. Kick ahead by Šimek. Pastrnak leads it back for Šimek. The way the Czechs have 6 shots on goal. We're midway through the second period.
When we looked at this Swiss lineup, I don't think either of us thought this would be the way it would go.
Pastrnak winds his way in. Pastrnak still with it. Knocked off stride, shoots that wide, a penalty coming down to the Swiss. And they'll touch it up. And so with 10:08 to go in the second, a hooking call to Switzerland will send the Czechs to the power play as Tanner Richard goes off.
Tanner Richard.
Team Switzerland, player number 71, 2 minutes for hooking.
Wasn't playing in Syracuse in the American Hockey League. Benoit Gru is the coach there, and didn't have Richard in the lineup. He had this opportunity to sign in Switzerland, so by mutual agreement, he left the farm team. We were playing Game 7 against the Toronto Marlies now, but he left the farm team, signed a 2-year deal in Switzerland, which made him eligible for this tournament.
Now Voracek shoots, goes off a leg. Tanner Richard, born in Canada, in Markham, Ontario. His dad, Mike, a longtime player in Switzerland. Now Voracek works it free, stepped away from Ambuel, and finds Pastrnak. David Pastrnak, poke check there by Schlumpf, and the play's offside at the Swiss line.
Thomas Plekanec didn't have a great year offensively, his worst year in 12 for Montreal. Just 28 points. He doesn't have any in 6 games here, and that's playing on the power play with Pastrnak and Voracek, and he plays with Voracek at 5-on-5 now with Sabatka.
Herzog, poke check there by Šimek. And Diaz sends it back down the ice. Anton Belov has scored his second of the tournament. 2-1 the Russians now in lead on the U.S. in the second period in Cologne.
One-year player in Edmonton.
Yeah. Repik falls there. Under a minute to go on the Czech power play. Played back at the point. Ruta for Cervenka. Jan Ruta. Back for Cervenka. Winds in, drops that down for Kovac. Kovac plays it across for Cervenka. Ruta with a hard shot, a bullet shot went wide. Off the inboards, Kovac couldn't cash on the rebound.
Good play by Schlumpf to deflect that puck away. Stronger than Kovac on the puck.
Now at the line, Ruta can't hold it. Rufinak moves in shorthanded along with Bodenman. Rufinak sends it back across. Bodenman had the puck for a moment, then Ruta knocked that away. Lead pass for Repik on the Czech power play that has 10 seconds remaining. At the point, Kempney for Gudas. Long wrist shot, tipped wide there by Repic. And now Richard is back on the ice. One shot on goal for the Czechs, and the power play remains 2-0 Switzerland. Kovacs plays it down for Verana. Loose in the side of the goal for a moment. Now Diaz has it back and slides it across to Ambule. Richard banks it out, and Kempney goes back, being watched by Herzog. Verana plays it back in deep. Lead pass for Surrey. They'll call that offside. The faceoff will come back down to the Swiss zone. 2-0 Switzerland leads here in the second period. Czech fans have shown a lot more energy in their team so far here on this Tuesday afternoon.
32 and a half minutes. They've got 6 shots on goal. Anytime they've had a scoring chance, they've muffed that, whether it's a Cervenka breakaway that he flipped over the net or a chance in the first period power play that he whiffed. Pasternak had a chance at the end of a shift. There's just not been a lot for the Czechs right from the get-go.
Cropland knocks that ahead. Picked up by Saboka. Across he goes for forward check. A centering pass knocked away there by Haas. Back to Yarabek. Jakub Yarabek for Plekanec. Plekanec wires that wide. Voracek tried to center it. And Romain Löffel knocked it down. Eitan Haas. Up ahead for Rito Surrey. He scored the most recent Swiss goal. And an odd one at that. Detroit general manager Ken Holland is here this afternoon.
Probably seen too many goals against that looked like that in the first part of the year from Mrazek.
There's Suter back with it. Down to Rufinek. Rufinek plays it down for Shampi. And Krejcik just rings it around the glass and out. Knocked down by Yarabek. Lead pass for Pasternak. He holds the line for the Czechs and flips it in deep for Kovac. Kovac rings it around. And Pasternak back on. If you're just joining us, the Swiss resting 2 of their best defensemen and 2 forwards for this game. Philippe Thurer not playing. As a centering pass goes right on a save made there by Schlegel as he turns away Shulak. And now a chance at the side of the goal, tapped home by Cervenka, and the Czechs are on the board.
Well, there's the Czech player with the most chances today. It's Roman Cervenka. We just talk about him. And he gets the Czechs on the board here. Cervenka goes across to Kempney on the side.
Save is made by Schlegel, and then finally Cervenka with a net that he couldn't miss.
This is actually a really good play from Cervenka. Schlegel actually gets a stick on it and deflects it up into the top of the net. We'll see if that, and it should, energizes the Czechs.
Herzog Lifts it out. So the Czechs with some life now late in the second period. On the goal by Roman Chervenka, his third. On just the 9th shot for the Czechs. Czechs the chance to nail down second place in Group B. Canada will play Finland later on today. Canada's already clinched first place in Group B. Back at the point, Kondratek for Šulák. Just added to the Czech roster. Libor Šulák with a shot that was blocked. And Šulák banks to center ice. The Swiss are changing. In comes Ahorna, winds and shoots, and Schlegel makes the save. Other side, shot taken by Gunas. That goes wide. Puck in the Czech line, scooped up there by Praplan. His shot was blocked, and now Sabotka goes rink line for Šimek. He stumbled, and it's knocked out by Plekanec. And the glove of Mrazek, who drops that down. 3:45 to go in the second period. Voracek lines in. Jakub Voracek swings it across. Sabotka in, shoots, a missile went wide. Brought back now by the Swiss, 2-on-1. A centering pass by Suri, tipped high by Praplan, and the puck goes up and out of play.
There is Roman Chervenka, 16 goals in Freiburg this year, and did a real nifty play. I thought he showed a lot of poise as that puck was collected out of his feet and then thrown up into the top of the Swiss net to make this a one-goal game. And somewhat expectedly, the Czechs have had some pretty good zip since that goal.
Kovac up for Chervenka. Swung around by Krejcik. In comes Kovac with it now. Kovac got tipped with a high stick there. Slow to get to his feet. Centering pass finds Pastrnak. Pastrnak swings back out of the corner. Walks right back in front. Pastrnak shoots. That's tipped away by Suter. Puck loose in the corner. Jarabek waiting for it. Puck at a stanchion and drop down. And Rufinak plays it ahead for Shappy. Rido Shappy shoots. That goes wide. And now Rufinak back on it. Rufinak centers it. Knocked down by Pastrnak. Kovac back for Jarabek, and both teams will change. Dylan Larkin has scored for Team USA. 2-2 with Russia in the second period there. A game on TSN 1 and 3. Michael Repik works in. In comes Repik. A centering pass. And Berner had that hit his skate. It bounced wildly to the side of the goal. And now Repik trying to take it free. So is Verana. Kempney plays it back in. The shot by Berner goes wide in the one-timer. Ruta steps up. Now Ruta back with it. Flips it back. Repik back for Berner. Berner drops it back, and the shot by Ruta stopped by Schlegel. Kind of held the pose for a moment.
That was a tough save. We didn't see much of that.
Ruta feeds it down to Verana. Verana drops that back for Pastrnak. Or Kondratek rather, just off the bench. Handel reaches for it. Kondratek has it back. Kondratek swings it back to Horak. Across for Kempney. Kempney. 100 minutes to go in the period. Kempney works in. back for Kondratek. Hansel beats the first man in, shoots, Schlegel makes the save, and there's no rebound.
Another extended shift in the Swiss zone. The Czechs have woken up here in the last 6 minutes. Michael Berner's going to have a chance here on a short little 2-on-1. Repik fires that pass across. Knows it's got to be crisp, but it's just behind Berner by that much. And it deflects off his foot up over the net.
Michael Berner played in the Ontario Hockey League for Barrie and Saginaw, a couple of years there. Split this year between the KHL and the top Swiss league. Long shot, Schlegel makes a save off Gudas. And now Cropland trying to knock that ahead. Took a bump there from Plekanec, then got spun around. And Šimek was hit there by Surik. In comes Saboka now, 25 seconds left in the period. Vladimir Saboka, or Voracek to Saboka. Saboka for Šimek. Steps around Cropland, centers it, got by everyone and back down to the Czech zone.
The last 5 minutes get the Czechs back in this game. 6 shots in the first 30 minutes, 7 since that point. And we got a game going to the third.
Cervenka gets the Czechs on the board. 2-1 the score for Switzerland after 40 minutes of play. Our second intermission is coming up.
Comme avec les statistiques de cette Suisse, un but
I made an exception when we did Swiss better. Yeah. The radio guy.
C'est plus qu'une simulation. C'est un train. across the world. For any smart cards in your own language, the 2017 IIHF powered by your store. Download it now from the Apple App Store and Google Play. Sure. Simply tell.
Men need real ice cream to prepare themselves. Living Man Cream, super fast absorbing and more greasy. Men, this is your cream. Living around, it starts with you.
Express yourself is just a few minutes before the game when you are outside and I was there. We will see now the results. It's on the big screen. It's Express Yourself, c'est Express Yourself avec non pas, donc tu étais dehors en train de faire hors Suisse. Non. C'est vous les Suisses, vous regardez le Czech également qui est dehors, on regarde ce que ça donne, ça s'appelle Express Yourself. Allez, on dirait que Cologne, grâce à l'appui, grâce à ça, on vous donne tous les résultats en provenance de la plaine de Cologne. 3 partout en ce moment sur le match Russie-USA. Ça va très chaud également dans l'aréna de Cologne, sans aucun problème. Ici, pour le retour en France, les scores, vous les connaissez bien sûr, les Suisses mènent avec un petit but d'avance 2-1. Et pour profiter de cette chose, et avant la reprise en tout cas, pour vous rappeler bien évidemment le programme qui est le souvenir aussi très important, très intéressant. Plein d'infos, on l'a dit, et comme le reste des bouliers du merchandising, vous retrouvez ça dans les boutiques officielles ici autour de l'arena dans les Cossines. Voilà, et puis un message très important pour vous si vous êtes du dernier match de la journée du 3e match, si vous revenez C, c'est toujours le même signe. Don't C to go out and come back after for the third game today. Alors, ça se prépare, ça se prépare. Ouais, il est déjà là, attention. Et le truc, pas bien.
Regarde, c'est sympathique. C'est qu'on s'est dit on va mettre un peu à CDC, c'est normal parce que regardez tous les deux qui vivent le jeu. Alors ce qui est bien, c'est qu'on a deux Suisses habillés et deux personnes qui sont là mais qui se sont trompées de sport en fait. Vous voyez, en fait, ils pensaient que c'était un concours d'échecs derrière. Donc on va les solliciter tous les deux aussi, puis après on va aller partout pour faire. Ça va, ils ont l'humour, c'est sympa. On ne le pas. On va faire de la air guitare, on va mettre en bon sur la scène. Je pense, moi le micro, et après la caméra va balancer partout. À vous de faire la même chose pour moi. Oh, on va faire comme ça du rock'n'roll. Attention, fais péter la musique, DJ. Come on, spin and wheel.
Comment ambiance de la guitare, ouais. Tu vois? Donc cette idée apparemment Eric avec ses copains de la CDC vous montre l'exemple, c'est uniquement vous montrer l'exemple et derrière c'est vous qui le faites, c'est air guitare, donc souvent si vous êtes à l'écran, c'est vous qui partez en guitare, hein. Attention. Astérix, Astérix Obélix, ils ont pas mixé la CDC au cas. Astérix Obélix, pardon. Ah ça y est, c'est parti à la guitare, on y va, tout le monde, allez. Sa guitare c'est pas tout cassé là, voilà, c'est ça. Vous avez vu un petit peu la guitare très vite d'ailleurs, très vite. La guitare avec déjà le retour des arbitres sur glace. Referees are back on the ice. Et Obélix, c'est ça, complètement. Est-ce qu'il y a attention les Suisses, oh on y est bien sans personne, joli. Le retour de l'équipe de la République tchèque. Make some noise for your team, Czech Republic on the ice. And Switzerland too. Ça continue,
Switzerland with a 2-1 lead over the Czech Republic after 40 minutes of play. Roman Chervenka scored the goal for the Czechs to draw them within one. In Cologne, 3-3, the United States and Russia.
Kevin Hayes with a couple of goals there
Yeah.
for the U.S.
Russians need a point to clinch first place in the group. But the Americans giving them all they can handle. The scouting report on Team USA is that it's a very good team.
Fast, aggressive. They've had really good goaltending, although Jimmy Howard's given up 3 goals on 14 shots in this afternoon's game. Andrei Vasilevsky has had an excellent tournament in goal for the Russians.
Leading the tournament in save percentage entering today. And here the Swiss trying to sneak past the Czechs in his second place in Group B.
With a cobbled together lineup, they've got 4 regulars out.
Now a steal by Plekanec works it in. Sharp angle shot by Saboka. Schlegel makes the save and is able to squeeze the rebound.
He's made a couple of saves where his head's on the swivel. He's not real sure where the puck is. This is another one of them. And Schlegel, the 22-year-old, playing his first game in the World Championships in his career, played one exhibition game for the national team, makes this stop. And now he's like, I'm not really sure where it is, but he's got it. For Schlegel, who had nothing to do in the first half of the game, just 6 shots on goal, has faced 8 since that time in the last 10 minutes and 10 seconds.
Janazzi out for Rito Surrey, whose second goal looms large now as Mrazek clubbed it into his own net.
I like to think of it as a funnel. It was going wide and he was able to just corral it into his cage. Just a misplay by Mrazek.
Now she make a long shot, tipped wide by Voracek. It's amazing how a goal energizes a team.
Second that puck went in the net from Cervenka, all of a sudden the Czechs became what I expected them to be today.
Now a steal ball by Haas, a centering pass picked off by Pastrnak. And David Pastrnak of the Boston Bruins fires that down, and it's an icing call against the Czechs.
Pastrnak has an assist today, but it's not been his best day. He had a breakaway where he ran out of gas. He's made a couple of iffy puck decisions. You see him point to himself like, yeah, my bad. It's a play he shouldn't make. Terrific season for Pastrnak this year. 34 goals for the Bruins as a 20-year-old.
19 in the first 26 games. In December, he had twice as many goals as any other Bruin.
And ended up tied with Marchand.
Yeah.
Tells you what kind of second half Marchand had.
And there is Jakub Jarabek, who, as we mentioned, was signed as a free agent by the Montreal Canadiens, a one-year deal out of Vityaz Podolsk in the KHL.
25-year-old, a low-risk signing by the Canadiens. Maybe you find something. Maybe he's able to play on a defense that's looking to reshape itself just a little bit.
But then again, you've got a Czech in Thomas Plekanec, an older guy who can guide him through. It used to be NHL teams would sign a European player, and to get him acclimatized, they'd get him a real estate agent. Things are a little bit more advanced now. And that goes past Shulak and back down to the Czech zone. Libor Shulak, the last player added to this Czech roster. Quite the flow he's got going there. Up for Repik. And now Berner plays it in for Repik. Vrana. Back across for Kempny. Moved in by Ruta. Ruta back to Vrana, centering pass. Repik a shot deflected wide as Ruta was posted up in front. Now Berner in the corner, feeds it back. Ruta in, shoots, that's blocked. And Pia Suter has it back for the Swiss and banks that down to the Czech zone. Mrazek quickly plays it ahead but misses Ruta with it. And that's icing on Mrazek.
Don't see that very often at 5-on-5. As Mrazek wants a quick up as the Swiss were changing and he whiffed on the pass. Very good puck handler. It's an uncharacteristic error for Mrazek.
Vrana shown out. Tanner Richard, one of the top face-off men in the tournament, will take the draw against Roman Horak. Can't win the draw with your feet, so it sat there for a moment. Lofel works in, shoots. Mrazek makes the save. The rebound bounces out, and Vrana has it back. Skips that down in the Swiss zone. And Janazzi has it back. Swiss resting two of their defensemen tonight. Philipp Führer is out. So is Ramon Untersander. Two forwards. Cody Allman and Dennis Hollenstein also sitting out for the Swiss.
All of them productive players for them.
We're told that Führer is the only one who's questionable for the quarterfinals. Damian Brunner and for Gaetan Haas. Haas swings that rink wide, jumping against Praplan in the corner with it. And down low to Suri. 3.5 gone here in the third period. Leads have not been safe in Switzerland games.
Actually, leads have not been safe in this tournament. There's been a healthy dose of swing of momentum, but the Swiss have taken it to another level.
Centering pass for Sabotka. Chip set down as Diaz goes back. And here's Malgin with it. Dennis Malgin. Not bad for Herzog, but that missed him, and as Simek goes back, icing called against the Swiss.
Patrick Fischer's team dominated the first 40 minutes, or 35 minutes, I would say, of this game, and then when the Czechs scored, the rink got tipped on them, and they've been back in a passive position here for the last little bit. Bad way to try and defend the lead. Way, way, way too much time. Still got to attack.
Jarabek chips set ahead. And now Rufinak works in. Rufinak for Shapi. Shapi drops it back. Suter in, misfired on it. Kovac has it back for the Czechs. Kovac, rink wide for Pasternak. Carried that across the line. Now Pasternak back to the point. Jarabek reached out and kept that alive for Kovac. Kovac for Cervenka. Rink wide he goes. Jarabek in, a slap pass across. Kovac mistimed the one-timer. Pasternak back for Kovac. Crisscrossing with Shulak. Kovac, a centering pass poked away by Löffel as Cervenka was in. Now a 3-on-2 for the Swiss. Löffel with Shapi. Sends it right on goal, and Mrazek knocks that away. And Jarabek knocks down the loose puck. 5 gone here in period number 3. Just starting the third period in Cologne. USA and Russia tied at 3. If that game goes to overtime, regardless of the result, the Russians will be first, the United States second, Sweden third in that group.
Which would mean Sweden would play the winner of this game.
Congratulations.
See, I'm getting it now. It's all coming together.
Here's your prize. You won your last game. Now you get the Swedes. In comes Tanner Richards. Centering pass tapped wide there by Brunner. Brought back quickly by Repik. Looks rink wide for Verana. But Burner steaming towards the front of the goal, but that pass was broken up. And the puck went up and out of play. 13:55 to go here in period number 3. The Swiss lead the Czechs 2-1.
So Czech victory now with this number together the winner of the shootout of the game. Regardez les écrans.
Roman Cervenka, one of 2 players on this team, was won a World Championship gold medal. Jakub Boracek is the other. They were teammates in 2010 with the Czech team. Remember back in the early 2000s when the Czechs were undisputably atop the hockey world, the defending Olympic World Senior and Junior champions in 2000 and 2001.
Much like the Finns have been over the last couple of years. They were in a real sweet spot, the Czechs were then.
Canada in 2015 was the Olympic, World, and World Junior champion. The Czechs are the only country outside Canada and the former Soviet Union who have accomplished that triple in 1 year. To be the Olympics, be the Olympic champion, the world champion, and the world junior champion. The Finns came within the gold medal game at last year's World Championship of being the only team to win the under-18s, the World Junior, and the World Championship in the same IIHF season. Radko Gudas snaps that pass ahead for Sobotka. In comes Vladimir Sobotka, sends it towards the goal. Schlegel save, rebound tapped wide by Voracek. Šimek to Voracek. Now Šimek shoots, it goes off a skate and back out to center ice. Šimek works it in. And racing to it is Voracek. Jakub Voracek, the captain of the Czech team. Digs it free. And Sobotka gets the loose puck. Sobotka works out of the corner. Sobotka still on it, down to Voracek. He just shoots off Kukan, gets a shot away. Schlegel gets a glove on it for a moment as Plakanis was digging. And now pushing and shoving, breaks out to the left of the Swiss goaltender.
Long lead pass gets the Czechs into the zone. Sobotka shot hit Schlegel in the chest, and Voracek's right on the post with a chance for the rebound. This shot deflects off of Schlumpf's stick. And Voracek's chance skitters wide of the net. There he's all tied up with a couple of different Czech players, and now he's tied up with Rufinak, who for about the third time today is involved in a scrum after the whistle.
And Ganjarabek centers at that pass, broken up by Rufinak. Brought back by Suter. Pia Suter. But knocked away by Pasternak, who was back defending for the Czech. Now a centering pass misses Rufinak. At the line, tipped the line by Marty, flips that wide of the goal. Rufinak. Down for Suter. Pia Suter centers it, kicked away by Kovacs. Kovacs was dropped there by Shapi, but play continues. Cervenka across for Pasternak. Pasternak peels back in the corner. Works across the top. Pasternak walks right in. Pasternak shoveling it towards the goal, just wide. Pasternak back with a backhand shot, stopped by Schlegel. Rebound cleared by Marty.
Putting on a puck handling clinic was David Pasternak.
Now Cervenka. With the Czechs changing, drops it back. Ruta steps around Bodeman, a shot that drops right down in front. Ripping a backhand shot. Schlegel makes the save and gobbles up the rebound.
Well, Pasternak created all of this mess by hanging onto the puck and going all the way around the zone. Then he changed, and Michael Repik came off the bench, and Repik came all the way clean to the left post. Is going to have this chance on goal. Here's the initial Pasternak rush that just trickles wide of the net. Now he's gone off the bench and gone to the bench, and here's Repik off the bench, turned aside by Schlegel. Really athletic stop as the Czechs continue to press.
Gaetan Haas tries to work that out. Repik converged on him. Now Praplin just throws that down the ice. An icing call against the Swiss.
Praplin had the game's first goal just a minute 42 in. A shot by Diaz and bounced around the slot. Praplin was able to swat in his fourth goal of the tournament. The only goal of the first period.
Sobotka in for the face-off against Haas. Not done fairly. Linesman said, my bad. Missed the dot?
He didn't stop Haas. Haas is supposed to have his stick down first. You saw Sobotka tap the ice. The defensive player has to have his stick down first, and then Sobotka just cleaned him out.
Now Voracek, a shot that deflects wide. Haas on it. And Sobotka trying to dig it free. Sobotka centers it. And Janazzi knocked that away. Radko Gudas plays it around for Šimek. Looks in for Voracek, who knocks it down, working in with Sobotka. Sloan plays it around for Kukan. Dean Kuka swings back. He won a Calder Cup American League championship last year with the farm team of the Columbus Blue Jackets. And now Zahorna brings it across the line, but the play called offside.
Blue Jackets management is here in Paris today. As we get a look at David Pastrnak. Flipping a chance over the net. Here's a breakaway that he didn't have enough gas on. Takes a backhander. His pass here ends up as an assist for Cervenka. Every game, Pastrnak seems to have the puck on his stick quite a bit. He's an exciting young player.
20.
He's got lots ahead of him. He'll be able to negotiate an extension with the Bruins as his entry-level contract enters year 3, starting July 1st. You would think he'll be a long-term priority for the Bruins.
Now Zahorna works in, shoots, and Schlegel fought that off.
He's hung in there pretty good, isn't he? First start for the Swiss here.
Hansel winds in, drops it back. Kempney a drive, and Schlegel makes the glove save. Schlegel played for Zurich in the Swiss A-League this year at a .920 save percentage. He's been with the Zurich program since the age of 13.
Swiss outshot 7-2 here in the first half of the third period.
Can they hang on?
Said earlier, this is just not the way to defend the lead. You got to get that puck up the ice in the offensive 100 feet of ice so you can get a little pressure, control the puck a little bit, melt the clock. Shooting it up the ice ends up back in your zone just too frequently.
Regulation win for the Swiss would clinch second place for them in the group. Now a centering pass. Knocked away by Shulak. Now Ambuel works in. Ambuel plays that down for Malgin. Malgin spins back in the corner. And Cervenka trying to dig it free. Cervenka has it back now. Pastrnak was way in behind the Swiss defense. Brought in now by Jarabek. Jarabek centers it. Cervenka walks in. Rink wide pass. Lofer got a piece of that, or Pastrnak had a tap in on the back door. Now a scramble at the Czech bench. Players diving to get off. Chappie works in. Tap right on goal by Rufinak, and the save made there by Mrazek. Maybe a game saver there for Mrazek, and he takes one away from Rufinak. Now Suter in a backhand shot. And Mrazek makes the stop on him.
Best stop of the game for Peter Mrazek, and it's an important one as the Czechs have a mess at the blue line. You see them there. Nobody knows who should touch the puck, so nobody does, and that turns this over. Chappie leads it across to Rufinak, and Rufinak's attempt is spoiled. Mrazek stretches all the way out with his right leg to make the pass. But that all starts at the Czech bench with a bit of a train wreck at the door as they're trying to get in, and some guys are trying to get out onto the ice.
Campbell draw back. Brunner with a chance, pounded that wide. Now Brunner. That poked away. Marty has it back for the Swiss and fires it down. Still 3-3 in Cologne. Was shot by Brunner, scores! Spins and fires it by Mrazek. And the Swiss are back up by 2.
Territorially dominated for most of this third period. The Swiss take a 3-1 lead on Damian Brunner's second goal in the tournament. His only other goal was a shootout winner in the game against Slovenia. Brunner just takes this loose puck and fires it by Peter Mrazek. It's a perfect shot inside the post. As this puck is a turnover off the sideboards, just cleanly beats Mrazek. And now the Czechs have to climb out of a two-goal hole again.
So Brunner, the former Red Wing, beats Mrazek. And Voracek pulls it out. Drops it back. The shot by Kempney goes off a leg. Here's Voracek back with it. Hansel for Rutza. That bounced away. Raplan, though, can't clear it out. He falls in the corner. Voracek reaching for it. And again, the Swiss, with only 18 skaters in the game, you're allowed to dress 20.
Funny, the 18 skaters, that's normal to us.
Right.
For European hockey, it's a big deal to be down a couple of skaters. In particular, I would say the importance of the guys that are out of their lineup. They've done a terrific job today.
Sabotka tries to work that down for Kovacs, picked off by Malgin. Swings that rink wide for Loeffel. Another play called offside at the Czech line. Damian Brunner, the latest goal for the Swiss. They lead by 2 on the Czech Republic.
Presented by every team, the official ticketing partner of the 2017 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. On va parler du nombre de spectateurs présentés par les teams. Partenaire officiel de la billetterie du championnat du monde IIHF 2017 de hockey. Eh bien, on peut vous applaudir parce que ça bouge bien. Vous êtes 4531 ici à la Corotel Arena. Applaudissements!
Damian Brunner signed as a free agent with the Detroit Red Wings, moved on to New Jersey, spent a total of 3 years in the NHL, back in Switzerland this year, and now he has an insurance goal for the Swiss against the Czech Republic in the final preliminary round game for both teams. Fired down in the Swiss zone, and the Czechs called for icing.
Day that started poorly for Josef Jandach and the Czechs really has not got on track. They had about 10 real good minutes of hockey from when they scored the goal to make it 2-1 with 6 minutes left in the second period into the first 4 or 5 minutes of this period. They've had most of the play. A couple real good stops by the youngster Nicholas Schlegel, and goal has kept the Swiss in the lead, and then Brunner's goal is now stretch this out nicely for the Swiss.
And you think about the chances for Pasternak and Cervenka moments before that goal. Pasternak spins back in the corner. Centering pass knocked down by Herzog. How many teams have played the Swiss over the years as Ambuel was dumped there by Kovac? The teams have played the Swiss and come out thinking they played poorly when the Swiss just didn't give them a thing. Chulak works in, shoots, that's knocked away by Schlump. Still 3-3 in Cologne between the United States and Russia. Plekanec up after shot, and he was dumped there by Gudas. With old Radko Gudas. In comes Plekanec for Horak. In, shoots, that was blocked by Marty. Now a chance for Gudas. He hammered that on goal, and it got through to Schlegel. He makes the save as well on Plekanec, and now Suter gets a glove from Gudas. And the face-off will come outside.
Czechs look to get one to give themselves a chance. It's a solid hit by Kovac in the middle of the ice, and then, which is a little unusual, that second hit by Gudas is a little more customary. Now the play is going to come outside the zone as Gudas was down in the crease, pushing and shoving. You see Voracek not happy. This happened a few times in this tournament, Gord, where the defenseman's up in the play and they stay in to scrum around, and it doesn't seem to matter to the officials that there is 4 guys in the rush. They look around and go, there's not 2D above the circle, and out the face-off comes. It's a pretty tough break. The Czechs don't deserve this to have come outside the line. Now they've got to readjust again here.
A different interpretation of the way it's looked at in the National Hockey League for sure. Long shot by Šimek, steered away by Schlegel. Richard moves that ahead. Bodenman was poke checked there by Šimek. Looks ahead for Sabotka. Sabotka centers it for Voracek. Voracek drops it back. Hansel for Kempny. Under 5 to go here in the third period. Ruta banks it off the inboard. It skipped high in front. And now Kempny has shot that was blocked by Richard. Bodenman to the line and just out.
The shot was blocked by Richard, not very enthusiastically. Still got the block, but he didn't really want to block that. That one stung him a bit.
Surrey sends it in. Hard drive by Haas goes off a skate, up and out of play.
4 minutes from second place in the pool. Last year the Swiss were 11th.
Yep. U.S. in the power play in Cologne, a 3-3 tie with 7 to go there in the third period. Diaz drops it down, and Anders Lee has scored for Team USA to give them a 4-3 lead. That puck tipped wide there by Praplan.
Well, the Russians have looked like they were going to crush almost everybody over on that side, and here they are with trailing the United States.
Now a centering pass for Kovac, knocked away. Well, if the U.S. could hang on to that lead, that changes everything in Group A. That would vault the United States over as in comes Surrey with a chance. He fired it wide. Pasternak got a stick on him. Surrey can't believe he missed. 3.5 to go here in the third period.
But the Russians had only given up 5 goals in the tournament. They gave up 4 today.
And they get burned on the power play. Yarabek chips it out for Cervenka, walking in. A backhand shot goes high and wide. 3 to go here in the third. Schlunk to the line and out. Herzog racing for it. Yarabek takes it away from him. Rink wide for Pasternak. Some of the stakes get higher in this game. Should the United States win that game in regulation, the loser of this game would face the Russians in the quarters.
Thank you very little. All of a sudden 5 straight wins, as you see. Surrey, who has his first goal of the tournament, shaking his head on the bench as he was so close to making it 4-1.
By the way, that potential result would presume that Finland would lose to Canada. Should the Finns beat Canada, things get messy again. Canada's already clinched first place. Now Mrazek looking to the Czech bench to see if they want him to come. Not yet. Šimek plays it across for Gudas. Chipped in by Voracek. Kukan up for Rufinak. Rufinak drops it back. Suter plays it across. The return pass just missed him. Back at the point. Diaz shoots. That's tipped high and wide. 2 to go here in the third period. Czechs riding a 5-game winning streak after their opening game loss to Canada.
Mrazek's going to come here.
Pasternak, though, lifted down to the Swiss bench. And the face-off will go to center ice, and Mrazek will go back in.
Not much has gone very smoothly for the Czechs today after putting together a pretty good run. As you see, Vinny Prospol on the side of Josef Jandac on the Czech bench. It's not been smooth. It's been rocky for them, and the Swiss have just played a better game. They've been the better team here for 58.5 minutes.
Haas works that back for Marty. Love down by Propline to Marty. Steal now by Cervenka. And Janazzi has it back. Again, Mrazek inching towards the bench. He'll go now as Repik comes on as the extra skater. Bouncing puck, Repik poked it ahead. Marty finds Surrey, lifts it high in the air, trying to find Propline, who knocks it down. Swings that just wide of the goal as Kempney was all over him. Brought in by Kovac. Under a minute to go now in the third period. Zahorna. Swiss fans up and cheering again. Oh, centering pass. Zahorna. Back to Yarabak, down to Zahorna. That long shot by Sulak. Block. Plays it back for Kempney. Sulak. Takes the return pass. Winds and fires. He hammered that high. Time winding down here in the third period. Moved by Sulak down the ice, and it just misses the empty net. Ruffinac, though, gets there first. There's no icing. And Ruffinac peels back. And Switzerland, -4 regulars, takes down the Czech Republic, winning it 3-1 in the World Championship debut for goaltender Niklas Schlegel.
The Swiss moved to 15 points. That'll lock down second place in Pool B. Terrific win and a really nice start for 22-year-old Niklas Schlegel. Bit of a surprise starter, and he does the job, and the Czechs fall to the Swiss 3-1.
The final spot still to be determined in Group B. It'll be Canada first, the Swiss second.
Mesdames et messieurs, les meilleurs joueurs du match seront récompensés par la montre officielle du tournoi remise par Tissot, chronométreur officiel du championnat du monde IIHF 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, the best player of each team will be awarded with the official watch of the event, given by Tissot, official timekeeper of the IIHF World Championship. Les montres seront remises par Monsieur Kevin Marc, manager média de l'IIHF, et Monsieur Marc Führer, président de la Fédération suisse de hockey sur glace. Le meilleur joueur de l'équipe de République tchèque, the best player of Czech Republic, le numéro 88, 88, David Trasnak. Le meilleur joueur de l'équipe suisse, the best player of Switzerland, le numéro 26, 26, Schlegel, Niklas Schlegel. Merci de bien vouloir vous lever pour l'hymne national de la Suisse. Please rise for the national anthem of Switzerland.
le public qui reste là bien évidemment. Du côté suisse, mais du côté de la République tchèque. Pour féliciter, saluer les joueurs. Saluer parce que la partie continue. Et donc c'est avec plaisir de voir les Tchèques qui étaient un peu dans le centre. Czech Republic fans, they were amazing. Really amazing. Thank you very much. Bravo, bravo à tous, bravo aux Tchèques, bravo aux Suisses. C'est un peu de choses, justement. Je pense qu'on se fait tous sur le match. Oui, ça fait pas encore terminé. Et pour l'instant, c'est les États-Unis qui mènent un petit but sur la Russie. Ça bouge. Je ne sais pas si ce sont des rentrées dans les prolongations en plein à voir les entraînements. Le mondial en anglais, la question de
Well, you came into tonight trailing the Czech Republic by 1 point. You defeat them handedly. Was this a measuring stick performance and knowing where you stand heading into the medal round?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to win on a good note. I mean, to win the last game. So when you had to come out strong, we did the first. I think was pretty good. Then obviously the Czechs had a strong second, but in the end we managed to keep the lead. We played smart at the end. So yeah, it's good to know like if we play our game, we can win against every team. So yeah, it's a good way to win the first round.
You guys have had 15 different players contribute on the score sheet, yourself included, who has been on a roll. Is that how you guys are going to have success going forward? Everyone distributing the wealth?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, every player has to know his role, but it's always good when every line can score. So yeah, this is how we need to win. I mean, we can only have 1 or 2 lines to score goals. So yeah, we've been playing the right way, so we just need to keep going.
This is your first experience at the World Championship. What has it been like for you going through this, and in particular playing under Patrick Fisher and his ability to bring this whole group together?
Well, obviously it's been pretty nice. I mean, when you win a couple of games, it's always good when you have success. It's more fun. So yeah, Fisher is a really good coach. You know which player belong together, how to form to get the team together to play good. So it's been nice so far. And as I said, if you have success, it was nice. So it's been the first part. Now the fun starts. So we look forward for the next game.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Right, thanks.
Une seule solution pour toujours t'aider. Pour tout t'aider.
Introducing the 2017 IIHF app. Statistics. Team statistics. And introducing hockey cards. Your face, your team, your car. Show your hockey fans across the world. From any smartphones, in the the 2017 IIHF app.
Czech Republic France,